The GJW Direct Bloody Mary is an iconic race on the British sailing calendar. Dinghy sailors from up and down the country come to Queen Mary Sailing Club for a 2.5-hour pursuit race where the slowest boats start first and the fastest boats start later and have to catch them up. Some legends of the British sailing scene have won this race, and this is the 49th edition. I went up to see how it panned out.
We're here at the GJW Direct 49th Bloody Mary, and it's very exciting to see everyone here despite the bitter cold.
The Bloody Mary Winners Board inside the sailing club is a veritable who's who of the British sailing world. I'm here with Ben McGrain before the start, and he's a previous winner in an international 14, but today pretty much the opposite end of the spectrum, sailing a solo. How are you feeling about the day?
Well, I think it's going to be an interesting one. A very different fleet than the usual Bloody Mary. Big fleet of Fireflies and various other boats, more suited to the conditions that we're seeing out here today.
Well, best of luck with it all. Here with Tony Bishop, who's the sailing secretary at Queen Mary Sailing Club. And you must be really pleased with the number of boats here and the support that you get from your club.
Morning, Mark. Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, even though we've only got 99 boats today, we still need 85 volunteers to make it happen. So there's actually 1-to-2 ratio, which is probably better service than you get in Vegas. I've been there once before. I think that's about 15-to-1. So better service than you get in Vegas at Queen Mary today. It's a shame the wind hasn't turned up. We were really hoping that forecast from Sunday was going to push forward, but it's gone back to Monday. But the toppers are out. And they're heading now towards the start. The launch flag is up. We're calling it success with the guys who've got this far. All of the racing's on the west side, which is the first time we've ever done that for the race since it started. And of course it's the 49th year, so we're excited to have this one and then building up obviously to next year, which is the 50th. But yeah, no, really pleased with how today's looking.
I'm here with Jono Pank before the start, and the Firefly class have come out in force. Why have the light winds suit you so well?
Well, we can tack, we hold momentum. I think since Alex Davey won it in 2017, fleet's been looking for another light wind forecast, and well, today we've got a beautiful light wind forecast, and so we're the second biggest fleet.
Andy Rice of Sailjuice is the founder of the Seldén Sailjuice Winter Series, which the GJW Direct Bloody Mary is a part of. Andy, how did you come up with the idea of the series in the first place?
Well, I've been a long-time competitor in these events. I think probably my first own attempt at the Bloody Mary was about 1984, 1985 in a topper, when I think my dad heard me swear for the first time as I slid off the side of the top at the end of a race where I couldn't even let the main sheet out because it was so icy. We've got similar conditions today, other than that I think the sun is helping melt that ice. But this is a classic event amongst many others during the winter. They're Mad Dogs and Englishmen. There's not many that go out during the winter, and it seemed like bringing a series together would be a way of doing that. And I wasn't the first to think of it. There was actually a short-lived magazine called Fast Boat. It was a little bit too niche, a bit too much top end of the pyramid, but it actually did a scoring of who had performed best across that particular winter series in, say, 1989. I think it was Ian Walker that came out ahead in that sort of informal series. And then I came back to that idea in 2008 and thought, why don't we just have a combined series that loosely organises all these events into one series, and then loosely and informally has turned into a bit more formal and a bit more structured, and you know, it's turned into quite a big thing in its own right now.
You said initially you've been a competitor in these events, and earlier on we took a look at the winners board and I couldn't help noticing you're there on the 49er.
Yeah, I'm quite proud of that. You know, back in the day, we're talking more than 20 years ago, I could get a 49 around the racetrack, and with a young crew, I was 34, my crew who I just started sailing with, a 29er guy, Nick Murphy, just 17, and we gelled really quickly. We had that early success sailing together, winning the Bloody Mary and beating some pretty big names that year. So that was a lot of fun, and it still gives me a little flutter to see my name up there on the board here at Queen Mary.
Where there might not be any wind visible on the water, the boats are making progress, so we're hopeful that racing is going to get underway on time. The race started in very light winds with the odd zephyr powering the boats forwards. But most of the race was just sailed in incredibly light winds with the boats just drifting around. But the leaders managed to complete a full lap of the course. With 30 minutes to go, the wind has dropped again, which is playing into the boats out front. This the Scorpion, National 12, Firefly and Solo and British Moth, and has slowed down the charge of the Thames A Rater. So after 2.5 hours of racing, it is Jono and Freddie Pank in their Firefly who have won the GJW Direct Bloody Mary 2025.
Oh, it's fantastic to finally get to race one of these races and claim it. We got a break, and then when the breeze came in, we could see all the fast boats coming through. Then the wheeze went again, and we just had to stay still as much as possible. Fantastic, really, really pleased.
Well, it was quite stable with about 2 to 3 knots off the start, but then it picked up and everyone came through, and then in the end it dropped a bit, so we got it. Yay!
Thank you for watching today. We're going to continue bringing you the latest news from the sailing world, so please do subscribe using the button down here and take a look at sailworld.com and yachtsandyachting.com for everything in the world of sailing.